Okay, now I'm gonna talk about male depression, which is like this is something chronic that has been haunting men for ages and ages, and the lineages, like spreading depression like crazy. The number only grows, and it's crazy because it's a little like autism. People say, oh, today there's much more autistic people than there was in the past. And I'm like, first of all, yes, of course, because the spectrum grew. And so people who are not diagnosed as autistic before, and now they are, so this grows the number of autistic people. So with depression is the same thing. Before it was called melancholy, sadness, oh, he's going through a rough time, oh, he's having a little bit of an issue, blah blah blah, but it wasn't like he's depressed. And now he's depressed. And so the spectrum grew, the knowledge grew, and so did the amount of people feeling that. It's crazy, the autistic thing, very quickly, because autism has a lot to do with kids who have a very big disconnection from other people. So they can be loving and they can be very sensitive, but they are not, usually, they are not huggers, they are not kissers, they don't look you in the eyes, they don't connect, they don't know how to connect. And funny enough, it's curious how science doesn't talk about this stuff, right? But if you think about it, most autistic people are boys. Boys who are raised by thousands and thousands of men who condition them not to feel and to be disconnected. And surprisingly, nobody thinks about that. Autistic boys are much more common than autistic girls. And they are completely disconnected from emotions with other people. Like, they don't know how to demonstrate that. Extremely clever, a huge, huge focus on the intellect. And everybody has to live for them. It's like, and they need a lot more attention, and it's much more challenging to connect with them. So the whole family has to make a huge effort to connect with them. And actually, this is exactly what happens in any house that has a man. Like, it has always been like that. Everybody has to live for the man of the family. And the man of the family has to have his needs fulfilled. Yes or yes. There is no other option. And everybody has to live for this man. And he very rarely makes mistakes, because he makes a lot of mistakes. He just doesn't admit to it. So everybody has to, like, no, but you see, it wasn't that way. So it's funny how this is showing up as a psychiatrical condition, when actually, yes, it is a condition, but at the same time, this was expected. You know what I mean? This was expected. Like, of course this is gonna happen. If you study human history, you're gonna see, like, of course this is gonna happen. But anyway. Male depression. Depression has everything to do with unforgiveness. And unforgiveness has everything to do with being stuck in something that happened in the past and that is not a part of your life anymore. But you keep reviving it and reliving it because you can't let go of it. That happens because to some extent, somewhere within you, it doesn't matter if you're aware of it or not, somewhere within you, you believe that you are this thing that you're attached to. So you and the pain are the same thing. And so you cannot get rid of the pain. Many times people who are suicidal do that, right? They kill themselves to try and kill the pain, not understanding that the pain is not them. They are separate things, and you can release pain and remain you. Because the pain doesn't kill you. Being stuck in the pain is what kills you. So this path to liberation is something that men especially struggle a lot with. And women who were raised in very masculine homes, in a sense of the mother embodied a lot of masculine features, or the father was superior in society, or looked more imponent, so to protect herself and to be respected, this lady emulates what the father, you know what I mean? When there is a very masculine energy in the house, and this lady was raised to be very masculine in a certain way, which is like everybody's raised like that, you know. We're starting to evolve, but still very, very slowly. You get into the victim mentality, to the poor me mentality. So it's like you do something horrible to someone, then this someone tells you that they didn't like what you did, and all of a sudden you are the victim. You are the one who hurt someone, and when this person complained, you were the one who needed the hug, the understanding, the oh. And so because of that, you are never held accountable for the things that you do. Ever. What you do is always someone else's fault, or someone else getting hurt by what you did is because they are oversensitive, because they didn't understand, because you are always misinterpreted. You know what I mean? It's never your fault. I don't like judgment, criticism, fault, shame, pointing fingers, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But society likes it. And if society likes it, we have to take a look at it, because it's something that we carry within. So for example, I've never seen a man carry shame. They don't feel ashamed. When they talk to me, they never talk about shame. What they do say is that nobody loves them because they do everything right and nothing happens for them. Always the victim mentality. And women, they are over-shamed. They feel shame for things that don't even require shame in any way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ashamed of my body. What? How can you be ashamed of a human body? You know what I mean? I could understand if you felt shame, like, for example, you killed someone and you deeply regret and you feel ashamed of yourself for doing it. I could understand that. But being ashamed of speaking your heart, of wearing the clothes that you want, of your body, this is no, like, why would you feel ashamed of that? You know? So we have to take a look at that. And men have a very hard time with forgiveness. And they get depressed and stay depressed for an entire lifetime, plus 2 or 3 other lives. Because when you don't hold yourself accountable for anything, you cannot release whatever it is that you're holding. Because once you understand the situation and you understand what is your part in it, how does it affect you? How did you affect it? You understand rationally, and then your ego has it organized. So then the ego stops having power over your thoughts because it's already organized for everybody to see it. And so the only thing that is left is releasing it. Because when it comes to you, it's not a shadow anymore. So your ego recognizes, your mind recognizes, your body recognizes. You see, because it was taken out of the shadows, brought into light, and processed in your brain. You understand? But if men don't hold themselves accountable for anything, they cannot let go, because they were not a part of it. But if you were not a part of it, how can you identify with it? You understand what I mean? That's what I mean by not, there is no judgment, criticism, shame, guilt, fault. It's cause and consequence. If you identify with it and you're stuck in it and you're freaking depressed because of it, you are a part of it. You are saying it. That's why you're stuck in it. Because you believe that you and whatever it is that is keeping you stuck are the same thing. You are telling me and the entire universe and yourself and God and whatever it is that is connecting with you that you and the pain are the same thing, that you and the situation that happened are the same thing. Therefore, you identify with it. And if you identify with it, it's a part of you, regardless of what happened. And so you have some part playing in it because you're donating your entire energy to it. You are part of it. And if you cannot hold yourself accountable and go back to the moment where you were hurt and separate things properly and organize whatever it is that happened in your mind without doing the victim mentality and the poor me and the blah blah blah, you cannot release it. That's why men spend their entire lives stuck in depression. It's the inability to say, oh, I participated in it. And if they say I participated in it, they say it like if they were elevated for saying it. When actually it's just, you did okay. You admitted to it. They want the applause, the applause, you know. They want you to applaud whatever it is that they do as if the little that they do was humongous. It's not humongous. It's the human condition. You come here for this. Everybody comes here for this. So you're not, you know, being glorified because you said, oh yeah, I identified with my pain and I participated in it and I got stuck in it because I participated in it. You're not going to be glorified for it. So don't expect to be glorified for doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum. You're not better than anyone else because you did what everybody else is doing. You see what I mean? So there is the lack of humility that creates an inverse reaction of having to self-assure and self-affirm things all the time. Like you need to have the compliment. You need to have the validation. You need to be told that you're glorified. You need to be applauded. This is the need for external validation. Yes, it's wonderful when you do this and you're applauded. And if it happens, I'll be very happy for you. But if you're expecting it, you're gonna have a very, very big surprise in your life because it doesn't come. It really doesn't. When you heal something, there won't be a group of angels saying, hell yeah, congratulations. This doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that way. Because it's not something that it shouldn't be glorified. You're just letting things go. And you shouldn't make letting things go bigger than it is. Because otherwise it becomes too complicated. And it shouldn't be overly complicated. You see what I mean? So male depression has everything to do, but I mean everything to do with the ability of being humble enough to know that you're going to do it for you. Not because you're going to have a group of cheerleaders after you, rooting for you when you do so. Because there won't. It's the price that you pay for letting go. You let go and sometimes nobody even knows that you let go. But you feel the peace in your heart. This is living for you and doing things for you and not for someone else. You release it because you want to feel good, because you want to feel happier. I see a lot of men saying like this, I'm going to do it for my daughter. I am going to do it for my wife, for my son, for my mother and father. That's beautiful, but you're doing for someone else, which is beautiful. Altruistic love and doing some sort of sacrifice for someone you love because it's something that's going to make a huge difference in this planet is the most beautiful thing. What I mean is, are you really doing it for them, or are you doing it for you? Because, for example, if God gave you a beautiful family and you have a lot of family issues from the past, but now you're married and you have children and your life is beautiful, isn't it a good thing for you to heal your depression so that you can feel everything intensely and really enjoy your life and create a better life for yourself than the one you had before? Why do you have to do it? Because you want to be the hero, you know? You do it because your wife and kids are a blessing and you have a second chance of having a beautiful family. You don't do it because you are the savior and without you, nothing in the universe works. You do it because God is giving you a humongous blessing. Wife and kids, so that you can have the family that you never had, and because you never had, you have your heart broken. And God goes there and gives you a family so that you can recreate your life in a way that is more positive and more aligned with that you dream of living. Do you understand the difference? You do it because you love them, not because nobody else will be able to live if you don't get better. You understand? You don't do it for others, you do it for you because they are the blessing, not you. Maybe you can be the blessing, but you cannot say this on their behalf. They are the ones who decide this because it's their life. You don't decide what they want and what they dream of and what they need. They are the ones who tell you what they want and what they dream and what they need. And if you want to participate in helping them achieve their dreams, this is absolutely beautiful, but you don't decide what they want. You decide how you want to enjoy the blessings that they bring into your life. That is humility.